Thank you very much, Hari. And thank you very much for the organizers and our friends for to bringing to make this webinar a reality. Um, the topic that I'm talking about is a bit different from what the other speakers have just touched upon, because when we were conceptualizing this webinar, we were saying that, okay, let us try to expand the concept of circular economy, not just in the very narrow sense of the circular economy, but then because since circular economy encompasses a very complex socio-economic as well as cultural and political system. So what I want to pitch put my input here is how the labor issue, addressing labor issue is actually needed for circular economy as well. So which normally often labor issues are kind of not being highlighted so much in circular economy discussion, but I would like to argue here how this is actually very central and very important to really make circular economy a reality. So for this, I want to focus on garment industry, textile, and yeah. So as you also know, the garment production have doubled since year 2000, meaning, and then we all know that the population have not doubled in since 2000. So meaning that each and every one of us are now increasingly consuming more garment than before. So we're having more clothes than before. So that is what it means, but we are having doubled, the garment production being doubled since year 2000. So, and then much of this garment is also being disposed. So 92 million tons of textile are wasted, disposed of annually. And then by 2030, it is estimated that this dumping of the textiles waste will be reaching 148 million tons. So it's really like more than 1.5 times more increase by 2030. Aside from this, also by washing clothes, we have more clothes, so we wash more. And then, so by washing more, we are also producing more microplastics. So here it says 1.5 million microfibers are released through washing. So you can see here that the consumption of garment, the way that we are now consuming our clothing, our garment and textile is actually also putting a lot of burden for our environment. So that's one thing that we want to say here. Please, next please. Okay. So then on to what, in order to support this kind of consumption patterns that we are having now, how are the production scene being organized? Now, production scene, as you might, if you have studied about garment industry in some way or the other, you might notice that garment factory workers are one of the most exploitative working condition among all the factories that is there. So, and it's also noted that 60% of textile and apparel are produced in Asia and then exported all over the world. So we are a very large hub of garment production. And then as you can also see from this picture here, women dominate this garment industry as line workers. So it is a very much female dominated industry. At the same time, it is very notorious for its bad working condition in terms of low wages, bad working condition. I think you have still your memory for the Lana Plaza factory in Bangladesh is still very much vivid among your memories. So it is one of the most lowest working condition that is there. So, and then their working condition is also vulnerable in a sense that job security is not there. Under COVID-19, we have heard of a lot of unemployment cases because these workers are quite casual and then they can be sacked very easily. Next, please. So what I want to argue here is that promoting decent work is actually very important for circular economy. So because promoting decent work as well changing consumption patterns, so it's not only changing consumption patterns, but also to improve labor condition, because we have to be very aware that there's no such thing as cheap clothes. So like having a t-shirt with $1, we should kind of consider that as a problem. It's a problem. It's why is it that it's so cheap? It's something that we should kind of start thinking about it, because if we have fair pay for work, it cannot be that cheap. So being aware that work clothes are not supposed to be that cheap is very important, and changing the way we also consume is very important. So it's a responsible, sustainable, and ethical consumption is very important, and making sure that the producers are getting their fair share. So recycling, upcycling, and so the workers, producing workers, can also work on recycling, upcycling of a garment. So the changes of the whole production and economic structure, the labor structures, are all very important for realization of circular economy. So it's not that, okay, let us just reduce the garment production and then fire all these garment factory workers. No, that is not what we are saying here. We're saying that we also have to see that garment workers deserve better working condition, better job, and then better career development, so that we can also secure better working condition. Through better working condition, we can also change our consumption patterns and realize a better circular economy. So that is what I would like to argue here in the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyoko. And I think that, as you rightly said, I think this is an important component of the circular economy, where we not only look at physical aspects of the economic production and consumption system, but we also look at the social issues in terms of decent work and labor issues, etc. These are also equally important in operationalizing a circular economy.